Okay, so I'm just going to reel off a bunch of errors that I see when people are trying to do these drills. I have listened through. If there's anything there that's relevant to you, then you'll know what you need to work on, and then go and watch the relevant video to try and fix it. So the first one I see a lot of is a lack of rotation. It's just not when you're pulling the arm back, there's no movement there, or when you try and swing the club back, it's the arms bend and there's no turn in there. Just really focus on getting that right hip cleared out the way and get that right shoulder completely clear. And the same on the way through. Rather than stopping and letting the hands pass, turn everything through. Another one I see quite often is the knees being overflexed. If they're too flexed at setup, then you end up with this kind of zigzag look as you turn, because everything sort of levers off each other and you end up with your hips over there, head over here, and it causes all kinds of problems. I mean, they might even be too flexed at setup, but you just then flex as you turn into the backswing, shoulders tend to go flat, all kinds of problems. So make sure the knees aren't too flexed. They're not straight, they need to have some flex in there, but they're not locked out by any means. So a good guide for this, I find, is just to lock them out, loose the lock, and then just add a tiny bit more flex on top of that, and that is it. So another one I see, especially with this drill, which I see quite a lot of, is the right hip being too static. So again, this comes back to the turn, but this is specifically in the hip. And I see, I see it quite a lot of clients I've given this one arm drill to, and it might be their first or second lesson. And we get them moving their body, get them doing this, and the idea of this is the arm is used as a lever to pull your shoulder out of the way, which then pulls your hip out of the way and gets you really good clearance. Or quite often it goes static, and they'll come back after a week or two and show me how well they've done the drills, and it ends up looking something like this. They're moving the arm, but they're not allowing the arm to move the body. So it's really, really key, especially when you do this drill, get that right hip moving out of the way, get the leg straightening, clear it, get that rotational movement going. Okay, another one I see is too much weight shift. Just usually most people are unaware that they're doing it, so it's good to use a mirror, or maybe use like a 3D object. So put a golf ball on the ground or something on the ground and lay a club on a chair or a table over the ball. Now as you look at it, you'll get double vision, so close one eye so you can get the club, butt the club over the ball. Then as you swing back, keep it over the ball. It should look the same. Shouldn't, like, if you see the ball's coming to view on either direction, then you know you're moving. And obviously mirror is really good, so it's not quite the same because you're not looking at the ball, but look in the mirror, do your backswing and see if you can see any movement in there. So another one is an over movement of the arms. Now this is usually just trying to generate power. It's just to feel the urge to want to hit it. It's not something, it's not a conscious thing usually, it just happens on its own. Now you'll set up to the ball and you'll swing back, and the arms, they just want to go, they're off, boom. So for example, when you hammer now, I mean, you pretty much just use your arm, and that's why we do it for a lot of things. We're very arm based. You don't use your whole body to hammer and nail. So when you're moving the arms in the golf swing, it's quite hard. It can be quite difficult to limit them and restrict that movement, because obviously a lot of movement with the arms means that you've got to do a lot of movement back again, and that creates a lot of problems and a lot of inconsistency. Another one I see a lot of is hitting at the ball instead of hitting through it. So when you come to impact, kind of stopping and hitting instead of turning through the shot and extending the arms. So just something to look for. Again, go and watch the relevant video for that. Shaft angles, really common one is on backswing going too flat. I see this all the time, and I think it's because people want to hit draw. They end up causing all kinds of problems. The left shoulder goes higher, they move off the ball. Yeah, it's just messy. The shaft often ends up going steep at the top as well. And then it's just a big old trying to recover from here. We can imagine with the high shoulder in this kind of position, this is just screaming over the top. So then they try and get more inside because they're still coming over the top and cutting it, and then it ends up in a big old mess. So again, go to the relevant video. Easy one for this one, use a mirror. Just use a mirror, watch your swing go back and try and make sure that club head passes over your hands, and that shaft angle is pointing somewhere between the ball and your toes. Anywhere in there really should be pretty much fine. Bang between the two would be really good. Yeah, it's just attention to detail on that one. Ignore what you feel on that one and go over what you can see, because if you're used to going inside, you just won't see it, or you just won't feel it rather. So you've got to, when you come back on plane, you'll feel like you're out here somewhere. It'll feel really awful, but it's one of those things, you've got to film yourself doing it in real time and then see yourself going in here. So you're going to, and I found this with a lot of people, they usually find like a 20-degree angle is good. So rather, when you're trying to get to this horizontal position here, feeling like the club head is more out there. What's really key though, don't let the hands come out with it. Okay, keep the hands in as that club is pointing out there. Is your shoulder tilt. Okay, so with your shoulder tilt, if your tilt is flat, the shaft angle will probably be flat. So before you look at changing your shaft angle, check your shoulder tilts first. Make sure that left shoulder is low. It feels like it's pointing at the ball. It won't be. It'll be pointing way above it, but it's what it feels like. You feel like your left shoulder's from your eye line down to your shoulder. It's going in almost in line with the ball. And yeah, left shoulder down, right shoulder up. And if you're achieving that, then assess your shaft angles. If your shaft angles are still off, then they might need looking at. Another thing to look out for is where you're gripping the club. So at the top of your swing, if you find that you're getting a bit of a shaft wobble up here, check your grip. You might be letting go with your left hand, you might be letting go with your right hand. You might have your thumb in the wrong place, it's up here somewhere, so it's a bit unstable. Check your grip is nice and secure, your thumb pad is down, there's no gaps in your grip, and maintain that. Check that, feel what's going on in your swing. Again, do practice swings, full speed ones, or smooth ones, but just perfectly rhythmical. Feel what's happening. Do a few conscious ones that you really make sure that your grip is secure, and then see if it feels the same as your normal swing. It'll probably feel a bit weird and a bit different. That's telling you that you've been doing it wrong. So make sure that grip is secure. That should help get rid of some of that shaft wobble. Not that that's the only cause for shaft wobble, can be a number of other things as well. Another cause of shaft wobble can be trying to get to the inside of the ball. So it's very normal, you get to the top of the swing, you want to hit a draw, so you tuck those hands down. What ends up happening is your shaft angle can go steep, and then you've got some wobble going on, and then obviously you're trying to get out to the ball now, so then you come back this way and there's a lot of shaft angle change. It's very unstable, it can cause all kinds of problems. It can also cause, like, to get an into out swing, you can feel like you thrust to the ball almost to get into out, so you end up with across the line coming down steep, and then the club goes way inside at the bottom, and then you've got to throw it over at the end. All kinds of issues there as well. So feeling like you're trying to get to the inside of the ball can cause a lot of problems. Okay, so you've got to make sure you do it in the right way, and that should protect you from any of these other issues like thrusting towards the ball or tugging the hands down.